Hi, welcome to Radio Sensation. I'm your host, Dan. And on this episode, I'm going to be talking about the relaunch of BLAB. It says premiere issue. This is actually kind of like a relaunch. BLAB has been out before. Does it even mention that? blabworld@hotmail.com. Who still has their Hotmail account? I do, for one. So, does it say something like Volume 2 or anything? It does not. It does not mention that this has had a life before this version. But it is... this is a great anthology. Here is something by Noah Shriver, a cartoonist I really like. It's a little mini biography of a guy who did, I have seen these little, they're in the public domain now. It looks like he started these in 1886 is what he's saying, and 1900s. This guy did thousands. And, I guess it was Shackman printers who reprinted a bunch of his stuff, or at least stuff that looked like this. I'm not really sure. I don't have any examples of it around. But, he just basically took all these situations where, and put, like this thing where these kids are playing throwing apples. I mean, this would be usually kids, but instead he's dressed cats up with that. And they're, just cats in every situation taking the place of humans. And, it talks about his life and his, the sadness that informed these crazy the illustrations. It's a fun, it's a fun look at this. There's vintage comic book ads are spread throughout it, which are, they just want to point out how different we respond to these ads than people for like, this is an ad from 1941. This is the story of Siegel and Schuster in the battle to get some compensation for Superman. Interesting. I've kind of heard, I'm pretty familiar with that story. It's Greg Clark. And here's one. Giselle Potter has done a mini biography of Beatrix Potter, who did Peter Rabbit. Now, I remember seeing at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in Washington, D.C., they had an exhibition on Beatrix Potter because she did a lot of nature studies, realistic nature studies that, she was a serious naturalist. And, before she started doing Peter Rabbit and stuff. And this touches on that. And it's just a pretty, a pretty look at this. Generally I would say this is so slight, but, I really like this artwork. I really enjoyed this. And there's about Peter Rabbit and stuff. It was great to see that exhibit and to see her work up close and how beautiful it was. Really interesting. Another ad. Now this is about apes, but also ape-like creatures in in popular culture. And now I've seen things similar to this before, but I think graphically, you know, the things they've chosen, you can see, look at the size of this print. You can see this isn't really in depth, but the images that were chosen are just fantastic. You know, again, you can find all this stuff online, but to have it a good curation of images like this and to see it reproduced so well, because this is really, really well reproduced. It's just terrific. There's something from the men's sweats. Here's some more. There's a toy, a folk art carving. Mighty Joe Young Japanese Menko cards. Comic book covers. Look at that, great. Fighting the robot. These are more pulps type covers. It's a weird one. Oh, look at that. That's great. These are great pictures. I mean, this thing is just, I can't recommend this enough. This article alone is worth it. And then a Fletcher Hanks comic. And you know, I love Fletcher Hanks. My video, Destroy All Comics, is all about Fletcher Hanks's comics and the reprinting of them. You know, I first became a fan of Fletcher Hanks when Raw magazine reprinted one of his comics in its pages. That was the first time I had ever known about Fletcher Hanks, and I loved it. And this is a really great story. I have this one reprinted several times in the different books that have come out about Fletcher Hanks. If you can track them down at a reasonable price, any of those Fletcher Hanks compilations are definitely worth getting. And this one is included because the bad guy mind controls gorillas to make his army. I like this where it looks like he's copied a piece of clip art and then just kept redrawing it over and over for the gorilla. I won't give away what happens, but it's wild. Another interesting comic there about the again, this issue is very heavy on, this is about the making of the original Nosferatu film. And so you know, that's in keeping with a theme of telling true stories. And this is another Noah, is it Von or Van? Van Shriver comic about another artist. This is a guy who made some of the true crime comics, the pre-code ones. He did some of the ones that are what got the comics in trouble. And this is a true story, and I don't want to give it away, but boy, his own life ends up the fodder for a true crime comic. I think this is great art. I'm a big fan of Noah's. So when he does a topic, he does a lot of comics, quite frankly. When he picks a subject I like, man, it's great. Like I said, I don't want to give this one away either. There we go. Male or female miniature dog at no costs. There's ordering a monkey through the mail. All kinds of good stuff you used to be able to get. And I honestly, I realize now I didn't read this. I'm not sure if this is a real reprint or someone wrote something new to go along with this. Huh. I will have to go back and check this out. Like I said, this is brand new. This just came out when I'm doing this video, so I did not read this yet. It looks like it's actually a reprint of an older material, but I can't say that for certain. I'll have to do a little digging on this. Save your hair. And here's I didn't read this either. Hey, this is a short fiction piece. It's heavily illustrated. There's something about, there's another one, supposedly the true story of F. Scott Fitzgerald, the writing of The Great Gatsby. Anyway, like I said, this is from Dark Horse and Yo Books, and this is a absolutely worth your time and money. Highest recommendation.